So let's see, we will going to look at the review for final exam. So this time I put like a Microsoft Documents. Okay, so let me put this on this screen here. It's kind of a big here. Okay. All right, so now let's say basically this you should basic concepts and skills. So if you by looking some of the titles, some of the names, if does not make sense to you, that means you missed something. So you probably need to take a look the lecture notes again. So basic queries, how to do something field equal to something, or something like something, or in or between. Okay. And then with statistic functions, we know those examples, we did those examples. And then we use a where clause to select cases, right? Select observations. And then we also do group by, that's basically just like a factor analysis. Okay, so you divide the whole, all cases into different groups. Okay, so that's factor analysis. And then you can also select factor levels. So using having clause, right? And we learn how to do joins, left join, right join, inner join, equal join, all that. Okay, and then we learned so basically subquery, okay, and subquery and the unions, minus, intersect, set operations. So basically, previous semester we covered up to this point, okay, and then everything after that is new. So that's tuple variables, how to do data backup, expressions, you know, how to use decode, contents, right, and we use contents to do text source. So that include how to create context index, how to do a fuzzy source. So basically put a question mark in front of a word that may not be spelled correctly, or that's just fuzzy source. Sound source, if you don't know the word, how to spell the word, but you know the sound, put a question mark, put an exclamation mark in front of the word, okay, stem source, $sign in front of the word, and then we'll search for all the documents containing that word, and all different stems, coming from the same stems. And then we did a rundown source, rank source, hierarchical source, and that's what we did last week. And yesterday I spent a lot of time to go over some of students' homework with those students, and then tell them what we could do for those kind of things, right? So just make sure you understand the basics. For example, how to generate one rundown, how do we reshuffle, for example, all the employees, or reshuffle all the departments, and then from that we select, first two, first three, right? So that rundown source essentially, right? And the rank source is kind of similar with reshuffle the employees, so you reshuffle the original records by using order by clause, and then say order by, for example, the salary, order by hire date, and then we can select, the top salary makers or all these employees hired. Hierarchical search is used to create some kind of like a query result that shows hierarchical orders, command chains. So example we did in class, we basically just like say president, vice president, those employees things, right? But here, there's hierarchical queries also we learned another lesson that basically, if I need to create something that create another table, that table may not exist in your table database, but we need to use that table to do a query. For example, if I want to find out years that department does not, the company did not hire any employees, so that way, the years table, the table shows all the years is not exist in your table, right? In your database. So we can use this hierarchical query to create that, okay? And then for MongoDB, we did like a PowerPoint to cover all those concepts. And then last class, we talked about a query, how to formulate a query filter documents, including equalities, and including using those kind of operators, okay? And today I just briefly covered the projection, and we also did a sort and a query embedded fields, query array fields, and did do aggregate. We did not do match. Match is just for having. So basically, you have you have group documents, and then after that, comma, and then put another document, which is to match. So let's say I want to match and make sure that total salary is bigger than something. So just simply say having sum of the salary is bigger than something. So that will be done using match. Okay. All right. So those are the things we did in previous exams. So in terms of the coverage, I probably did not mention that 70%, even though it's comprehensive, but 70% will be on this new stuff. Okay. So in other words, 70% will be on SQL and MongoDB, and then 40% will be on this prior exams. So like how to create entity relationship diagrams, the basic database concepts, primary concepts such as primary key, foreign key, referential integrities, okay, and then cardinalities, one-to-many, many-to-many, one-to-one. Those basic concepts will be in the exam, but those will take about 30% only. Okay, and then the techniques. So basically, those will be the new techniques here listed. Then, so basically, you see a lot of SQL here, right? So use SQL to retrieve data, out data, insert records, and use SQL statements to create joins so that you can get data from multiple tables. And then you can use group functions for online analytical queries, group functions, recursive queries, your sub-queries, okay? Tuple variables, your set operations, and do text search, random search, random search. And finally, use how to create like a temporary table using hierarchical queries. So those will be the skills, we did a lot of exercise, a lot of examples on those. So basically make sure those things, you understand the basics here, okay? And then for MongoDB, we did not do, this is also, we learned how to use, how to manipulate Oracle database objects like a view, create, modify, delete, things like tables, database links, users, sequences, indexes, views, and synonyms. And then for MongoDB, we did something similar. So we learned how to view, create, modify, and delete MongoDB database objects, such as databases, collections, and users, right? Okay. And then we did how to insert and remove documents and how to query documents. We did not do update. So update is actually kind of just like a find. So basically you say db.students.update. And then in that case, you have two documents. First document is going to be query filter documents, same as like a find. Second part, we just specify which fields set, which fields equal to which. Okay, so it's kind of a similar to SQL, but we did not have time to do that. I said that if I have one more week, I would, that updates will be also covered. So anyway, so there's also techniques covered by previous exams. So now let me just go over some of the questions in case you have any questions you wanted me to do it in class. Okay, so basically those, where class is to select individual records, individual rows from the original table, and then having class is to select groups, right? So already group by, and then you say which group you want to be displayed, then you will do having. So typically, if you have anything involving like a count, like a minimum, maximum, like a sum, average, all those, then you have to put those after having. Okay? Does it make sense? So make sure you understand that. All right, and let's say this SQL statements, most of this, how many I gave to you? 35, which is not many, right? So basically, trying to be comprehensive, but I'm not sure whether they are comprehensive. So most of the queries at the beginning part is pretty simple. So for example, find the maximum salary owner in dollars, find the average salary of people who work in dollars. It's just kind of same kind of thing. I should not repeat it here. Should not repeat, just one should be enough. And then find the minimum salary of each department among the people who was hired before 1980. So in this case, you are group by department, but also you have the select, so you have hire date, right? Hire date is for individuals, so you have to use where clause, okay, before group by. All right. And delete all employees who report to Blake. That means who have a manager is same as Blake's employee number, right? So most of this stuff is pretty straightforward. Just make sure you use this opportunity to demonstrate it. You do it one more time. If you do it and then if you somehow find out that you're not sure whether it's correct or wrong, this is what you can do. Just copy the question and copy your answer and then send an email to me and I'll get it back to you right away. Okay? Don't tell me, Dr. Liu, for question 23, what is the correct answer? That I will have to go back to the document, find out what is question 3. So it's much easier for me. Will be just simply just copy this question and then write a SQL statement and then, email back to me and I should get it back to you very quickly. All right. And let me look at last few questions to see whether you have anything you want to ask me. So here, finding employees who make less than their respective department average. Okay, so here we are going to use tuple variables, right? So let me try to do that. Just do that using whiteboard. Hopefully, we should finish. Let me see what time. I will have 12 more minutes. So let's just do 1 or 2 SQL statements and then we'll move on. Okay, so here, we want to find out employees who are making more than. So basically, we are selecting the employees. Okay, so let's just make this down a little bit. Okay. So we're going to say select. This bit. Select employee information. So we can just anything, employee name, whatever. Okay, from EMP. Okay, and then say well. So here is a key point. So we want to make sure that salary is bigger than this employee's department's average, right? Is it average? What we're doing here, we're trying to do question number 30. Okay. So their department average 30. More than the prospective department average. So we need to find out what the employee select, what is their department average. So for that reason, I need to use a tuple variable. So maybe this is called A, and then this A.cell, okay? And then we just make sure that we need to find A's department average, right? So select, okay, select average, AVG, and then let's just call that average. Okay, the salary, average salary from EMP, and then well. So we have to make sure that for this employee, we're trying to find the average. The department number must be A's department number, A.DEPT number. Okay, so then this is how we solve that question. Okay. All right, and then $5 people who have minimum salary in his department. I think we have okay. So I have 2 kind of questions here. So first one, get $500 salary increase to the person who has smallest salary in the company. That's easy, right? So just say update EMP set the sale equals to sale plus 500. Well, then you have to make sure that salary is equal to smallest salary for the entire company. So sale equals to select mean of sale from EMP. So that one is easy. But the second part, the second one question is not that easy. So let's just do that, okay?
Professor?
Yeah.
For number 30, inside the subquery, would you not have to do average of B.sal? You don't have to assign something to B?
Yeah, you can, but it's not necessary because in that case, there will be no confusion inside the subquery. Let me show you that, okay? So I think you're right that, so in the class, we did say employee B and then B dot that, okay? But that's not really necessary in this case because this subquery just have one table, right? One EMP table. So it will not cause any confusion. But it will not be wrong if you put a B here and then B dot cell. It will not be correct. It will not be wrong, but it's not necessary. It's a good question. Yep. All right, let's do. So this one, you update EMP. I think we did the example like this in class, so I'm going to skip that. Let's just do question 33 instead, okay? Find the names of employees from the 2 largest departments. Find the names of employees from 2 largest departments. Okay, so look at the question here. It's easy to find the names if I know the department number, right? Find the names of, so just say select ENA from EMP where department number equal to or in something, okay? But how do we find the 2 largest departments? Okay, so that is the question that I think is one of your homework questions. So it's kind of like so we'll split that question into 2 parts. So first of all, I'm going to find the 2 largest departments. Okay, to do that, I am going to do say select, going to do group by. Okay, select DEPT number. Okay, from EMP. Okay, and group by DEPT number. Okay, so that will give you just like we are going to this is DEPT. I'm just trying to make it better here. So select DEPT number. Okay, and then we're going to order by. So we are going to order these department numbers in terms of their total number of employees. So let's say order by count. And let's just do in descending order so that we're the largest one in the top. Okay, DESC. So after we have that, then just now we should be able to just find the top 2 departments because this department numbers has been ordered by the count by the number of employees, right? So we can just use that as like a temporary result and then select department number from it. Okay, so select DEPT number from this temporary reshuffled department numbers. Reshuffled based on the employee count, and then we say well, and then where row number is less than 3. So this whole thing will give you 2 largest department and their department numbers. So let's put that into a subquery. And now what we need to do is just do the main query, right? So we just say select ENA from EMP and where DEPT number in this list. There we go. Okay. So even though the overall question, if you put together, sounds pretty complex, but if you just do step by step, it's not that bad, right? So just do step by step. Okay. All right. So I'm going to move on to different type of questions. Let's just see whether we have more questions you may ask. So let's do. So I'm going to skip this. Okay. Skip that. Suppose you want to search for documents stored in table called that. Okay, so basically this is using hierarchical queries. Okay, and then suppose you have table on. What is this one? This is suppose you want to search for document. Okay, this is MongoDB actually. No, it's not. So it's actually text search, right? Text search. So basically trying to say if you have like a table like this, right? And then I have 2 words I want to search. One is Trump. This may be misspelled, right? And then administration, this may be also misspelled, right? So just say, how can we, this first one is sound like that. And second one is that. So how do you write SQL statement for that, right? It's just also these 2 must be near each other. So inside this word, first word, you put exclamation mark, double quote around, a single quote around it. And then you have near, and then the second one, put a question mark in front of this word. And also single quote, and then use contains, right? And then here, this is a table that, suppose you're given a table for national organization, and these are constituent sub-organizations, write a SQL statement that query the table, display organizations in a hierarchical order. So this is hierarchical recursive queries, okay? So basically you want to show the national organizations, and then different state level organizations and different city level organizations, just in that hierarchical order, which shows that national organizations supervises state level organizations, and the state level supervises city levels organizations, trying to reorganize that. Okay. And here I give you this documents, and then you create a MongoDB collections, and then you write SQL, write query statements. Okay, I think I will. I think you should be able to do all that. Okay, and then sample questions covered by prior exams, and those which actually coming from the previous exam, previous reviews. I don't think that there's anything new here. So let me just see whether you have any questions you wanted me to work out or not. So we cover the following relational model. So you're already given the tables. The table has, key. This is a primary key, right? And then so those kind of questions we typically ask you to recognize which would be foreign keys. So how do you do that? So of course, some kind of field ID, student ID, those are the primary keys, right? And then you also have something like some other names like a student. That's probably foreign key because you already have a table called students. Professor, that is probably also foreign key because you have a table as professor here, right? And then what else? So basically, and then there's here for a student table, there's a faculty advisor, your faculty professor, the same thing, right? So that's probably also foreign key referring to here, right? Okay. And then look at memberships. So each member, we already have a member here, and then there's a member, and then there's number, membership number. So a lot of these questions really utilize your common sense. So you have a member, each member will have multiple memberships. Why? Because every year they have to get different memberships, right? So it's all the memberships for the same member. So this is probably just a weak entities, right? So memberships is a weak entity of members. Okay, do you remember how to draw that? So let me create another one here. So you have let's different the pen. So you have a member. Okay, so like a member ID, member last name, first name, address, and then you have a memberships here. Okay, so there's a weak entity. It's always looking like that. So the weak entity side will be one to many. Okay, the weak entity side is a many side, and then there's also a little box, just indicating that the primary key from member is going to be part of a primary key for membership, right? So that's how you get that. Get this membership. So the membership primary key should consist of this and that, both columns. Okay, and events have event name and time. So basically the primary key consists of the two columns here. And then for signups here, so if you look at signups, so there's event name and time. So that's foreign key. And also there's a member, that's probably member ID. So this is really like a junction table in between events and the members, right? So I did not underline everything, but based on this understanding of a database, should realize that, because events use both time and name as primary key, so then this whole thing together must be primary key, must be foreign key, and this also foreign key, okay? And then primary key for the junction table is everything, right? So it's all foreign keys, okay? All right, so this is the example. Probably is a good idea to try it. Okay, so you have two subtypes. So you're going to create one table for individuals, one table for companies. For individual, already have ID, so you use that ID as a primary key. For companies, there's no ID, so you need to create ID, right? And then you duplicate the primary key from both companies and individuals into a business as a foreign keys, right? So that's how you do subtype. And then there's a weak entity here. So this time, you need to duplicate the primary key of a social security number into credit card and make that as a primary key for credit card here, okay? and then the credit card type and number may be used as like a part of a primary key for these credit cards. So in that case, you're going to have a primary key for credit card, which includes social security number and a credit card number and a type. So generally, yeah, it's not indicated here. So it's not indicated. So if you just do put social security number here as a primary key, you will be correct according to the syntax. But I think I made an error here. So probably I probably need some kind of like a ID, like a number, credit card 1, credit card 2 as a part of a primary key for the credit cards. And then there's a one-to-many relationship between business and the server. So this link is connecting the whole business table to that. So you need to duplicate the primary key of this ID into the server side, right? And then you have one-to-many here. This is what is Arc? This exclusive relationship. We did not cover that in this class, so you can skip that. And there's also weak entity, okay? And then we have tables regarding voice card normal phones, second normal phone, third normal phones. So those we did just in second exam. Hopefully you still have a fresh memory. Let's just do one thing here. For example, look at this table, okay? This table have a transaction ID, customer ID, account number, balance, and last transaction, okay? So to understand this, you probably need to just look at some of the tables here. So there's possibility that one customer may have many accounts, right? And then one account may also have many customers, right? Okay, you understand? So based on that understanding, so let's just check to see whether that is true. So if I check this 375, one customer, second customer. So indeed, one account have multiple customers. Now, what about the one customer have multiple accounts? Let me check, okay? So let's say this one, 2098 has account 123, 2098 has account 375. So indeed between customer and account, there's a many-to-many relationship. So that kind of analysis will help you to identify functional dependencies here. Okay, so based on that functional dependency, now let's try to analyze the question here. So what should be a primary key? Apparently that average over depends on both customer and account, right? But now let's say we have a functional dependency between the account number and the balance, right? So if you know the account number, then definitely there's only one balance. So therefore, account number determines the balance. However, account number is not a key, right? It's not a key because there's you say that account numbers are duplicating, right? So therefore, this table is not in voice card normal phone. Make sense? So therefore, this is a violation. So then you know how to fix that. So do it step by step. First, I put account number and the balance, okay? As one table, and then everything else, including customer ID and last transaction. And make sure you also include the transistor, that's account number back. So now you have a second table which consists of customer ID and account number and the last transaction, right? So then you end up with two tables by doing that. I'm not sure whether this is one of your homework question or not, but this is how you do voice card normal phone. And then for third normal phone, just make sure that if you find, so in this case, we have a customer ID, customer name, of course, customer ID determines customer name, and also determines who will be salesperson and which region, right? However, we do have a situation that the salesperson, if I know the salesperson, and I know which region he works, okay? So Smith works for South, Laura works for West. So if I know salesperson, then then I know the region. So therefore, there's non-key column determines another non-key column. So therefore, this is not in third normal phone, right? And so therefore, we need to fix that. So just get the first form, use salesperson as a transistor and salesperson plus region, make one table. And then everything else, including customer ID, customer name, and the salesperson, the transistor, back, make another table, right? But then, similar to Boy Scout normal form. The cleanup may not the breakdown may not be clean. So you need to check again to make sure that those tables are still in sort of normal form, and then you continue. Okay. So those are two normal form examples here. So I am going to stop. Just ask you, see whether you have any other questions in this list. My voice is pretty much gone. Anybody has questions? Okay.
I have a quick question, Professor.
Yeah. What is
So
the question?
is our final exam going to be formatted like our previous exams to where we have like 70 multiple choice and then 30 points worth of hands-on?
Yes.
Okay.
I already said that. So it's going to be 70 questions, 70 online multiple choice questions. You will do that within the limited time, but then hands-on questions will be done after the class, before 11 o'clock. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Good. If you do not have any other questions, I will give you 5. You have 8 more minutes. Okay, 8 more minutes to finish your what is that class final exam? What is it called, evaluation? Do you have a website to go to? Do you know which website to go to? I think I received an email. Let me see. Evaluation. Okay, so this is there's online evaluation. You need to finish before. So let me see whether I can put that into chat. May not be. Just try. Okay. Now it does not work. Does not all copy the link. So let me do that with email. Hopefully that. Okay, let me do this. Copy. Just send you the link. That should work. Does it work? Yeah. Okay, so that's a link to go to finish it to finish your teaching evaluation.
Did you say you emailed us the link?
It's in the chat.
Oh, sorry.
Professor, when are your office hours again?
Office hour will be starting like 3:15 or 3:50. We can do that 3:20. 3:20 start.
Is that just today, or could I do that like tomorrow or Friday as well?
You want to meet with some other time? I can send an email to everyone to say whether anybody has a need. But today we have office hours from 3:20 and on. Mhm.
So you said you'd send an email for that?
Yeah, if you want to meet some other time, like besides today's office hours, I will send an email and then I will say if you want to meet with me tomorrow or Friday, just tell me which time you want. Okay. So today office hour I should in 7 minutes I should be here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I just saw your email saying that you have questions, problem with the MongoDB.
Yeah, I wasn't able to stay on after class on Monday, but I've been like trying to figure it out on my own in my free time, and I still haven't been able to get it working. Pretty much just when I go into the command prompt and type, like I downloaded MongoDB from like the instructions on the PowerPoint. And when I go to type Mongo, it says it's not recognized as an internal or external command or operable program.
Just share your screen with me. I can tell you right away.
All right.
Hey, Professor.
Yeah.
I'm going to gather some questions for the office hours to ask you. I'll email you a good time. I'll let you know if not today, would tomorrow you could let me know if tomorrow at Thursday at some time would work for you.
Yeah. I will email everyone and then say whether anybody wants to meet me some other time besides today's office hours. And then you can reply to me, say, yes, you want to meet me Thursday or Friday, and then what time, then I will put a list so that, I will schedule that accordingly.
Okay, great. Thank you, Professor.
No problem. Now, Mike, you go to your type of Mongo.
Yeah, right here. And so like I downloaded it like from the link in the PowerPoint at first, and then
you installed it, right?
Wait, what?
Have you installed Mongo?
Yeah. And then I tried to type Mongo after the installation in the command prompt, and it didn't work.
Okay.
So then I downloaded from Microsoft Teams, and that still didn't work.
No. You don't need to do that. Mongo, type of Mongo. Let me see what you have. So it's not recognized. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to your search button, search box. Type control panel. Control. Okay. So go to control panel. Good. And then go to systems. The first one, systems and security. Okay, and then go to system. Click on system. Okay. And then you on the left-hand side, you see advanced settings. Okay. And then very bottom, you see environmental variables. Okay. And then you go to bottom part, select a path, press edit. Okay, so now let's see whether you have that at all. So you have not done that, so you did not follow the instruction completely. So now let's do new, press new button. Okay, and then go to browse. Okay, and then you find this PC. Click on this PC, and then go to the C drive. C drive. Yeah, local drive. Okay, and then go to program files. Okay, and then you go to MongoDB. Okay, and then you go to 4. Let's just do 4.4. 4.4, and then select a bin. There we go. Press OK. Then you're set. Press OK, and then press OK again, and OK again. Okay, now you restart your computer, and it should be working.
Okay. Was
Okay.
that in the PowerPoint? I didn't.
Yeah, it was in the PowerPoint, also inside the installation instruction. So it's
Okay.
the last few steps.
Okay. That's
Okay.
my bad. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. So I'm going to start office hour link.
I'm sorry. Did you have to meet with everyone for like the
No.
10 minutes or whatever?
No, it does not. You don't have to. But it's just if you miss it, and then if you want to meet with me, then just let me know if there's some other time. Yesterday I met with most of people, 15, 16, I don't think, and I'm going to meet with 2 more people this office hours. And then if you want me to talk to me some other time, just reply to my email.
Okay. I'll
Okay.
let you know. I think I'm good. I just was really busy with classes and projects I was working on yesterday.
Okay, sure, not a problem.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.